Hello, everybody. This is Stephanie and Chelsea, and we are the co-founders of CS Planners. And today we are going to be talking about manifesting because the power of manifestation, honestly, is incredible. I feel like my entire life I've been manifesting. And I feel like it really goes down to like before I really knew what manifesting is, and we'll get there in a second, I was manifesting it. And then I found the word manifesting and I realized that was the secret. That's how I was able to attract all these opportunities. So we're going to first talk about what exactly is manifesting and how do you even manifest? So Chelsea, if you were to describe like what exactly is manifesting?
So I'm new to the whole manifesting thing, but the way I interpret it is you having this deep desire for something either you need or you desperately want. And basically, you're doing everything in your power to make it happen, but it's weird because like, it takes hard work. So you are working towards this, but it's also just, when you're struggling or there's something that you're like, I desperately need the, $50 just to finish paying my bills. And you don't know where it's coming from. In when you start to think, I'm going to have $50 by this date to make this money so I can pay this bill, then it appears that's manifestation.
Yeah, exactly. And we all run in like different like frequencies. So like, when you're trying to manifest something, then it runs on like a higher frequency, right? So you're manifesting something, say like you said $50, it's like at a higher frequency usually because you don't have it, right? So you need to bring your like let's say for example, like you're trying to manifest $50, you're trying to raise your frequency, raise it to that same level of whatever you're trying to manifest. So when you do that, that's like you're matching it, right? So then that's how it attracts to you. And how you raise it is by having no doubt, like knowing that it's fully going to happen, which seems it's like saying it seems like a lot easier than it really is because it's more than just like believing and saying it. That's the difference. That's why I feel like some people struggle with manifesting is because you have to fully believe it, no doubt whatsoever, nothing in the back of your head saying it's not going to happen. It's full on. And the more you believe it, the more you feel it, the higher your frequency is. So obviously, like, the more, like the bigger the goal that you're trying to manifest, the higher the frequency. So it does take more effort and energy to raise it to that same frequency, that whatever, like that huge goal that you're trying to get. So I feel like those smaller goals are easier. You can test it out. Like I remember like my husband, he tested it out with something small. I think it was like, I don't know, it was very specific, like cup of coffee or something, or very specific meal or something that he was trying to manifest. And it was like he gave himself a deadline. That was like the first time just testing it, like testing the waters out. And he did. And he's like, hey, this actually works. And then he's just constantly trying. And the more you do it, the more like you get good at it. So now it's like, I feel like he's tracking so many incredible opportunities. It's like one thing right after another because of manifesting, because he's been able to raise his frequency. And another thing too, I was thinking of is when you aren't passionate about something, like about your business, you lose that, like you lower your frequency. So then you don't attract as many opportunities naturally. And I feel so when you are passionate about it, it shows, right? Like you're excited, you raise that frequency. So automatically you will have more opportunities naturally coming to you.
Now, I feel like manifesting something, when people hear it, it's just, I feel like people who don't know and aren't in the middle of manifesting something think of it as like, well, if you think about it hard enough, it will just magically appear. And I
Mhm.
know like I've been around cynics of people being like, you're manifesting, so you just wish for something and it happens. Like, good luck with that. But I know that there are steps when you are trying to manifest something. So, Steph, can you talk about like some things you should be doing if you're trying to manifest whatever it is you're trying to manifest?
Yeah. So for one, be clear on what you're trying to manifest. Like what exactly do you want? and not necessarily a time. Some people I've noticed, like my husband, he gives a timeline and I feel like he meets it every time. For me, depending on the goal, I have a timeline. Sometimes I don't. But what I mean by figuring out what you want is you have to be specific, because you say, I'll give you an example. And when my husband was first, and this was the beginning of trying to test out like manifesting and all this, and he was manifesting a job because he just got out of university. He was unemployed. He was trying to manifest a job that was high paying. That's what he was trying to manifest. He was thinking it was obvious. You know, the obvious thing is obviously he would like it, but he didn't focus on that. His main thing is, I want a job and I want it to pay X like amount of dollars, a high paying job. And then he got it. He got exactly that. He got a job and it was high paying, exactly what he was manifesting. But the thing is, he hated it. So the things that are obvious, right? That thing, well, obviously I want to like it. No, you have to make sure that you're clear on all those little details, because everything that you try to manifest will happen. So that the first thing is deciding exactly what you want to try to manifest. And then after you decide, then the next step would be to raise your frequency to that same level of whatever your goal is.
And how do you
Like,
do that?
so in order to do that, it's letting go, which is so hard. That's probably this is like the hardest stage. I'm telling you, it works because it's like it's like that full force. You know it's gonna happen, and it's like right in front of you. There's no doubt whatsoever. Letting go of the how it's gonna happen. No, like you don't know how, but it just is. It's just going to happen. And knowing full well, like you're for sure, like, you know, it's going to happen. And it's more than just like believing it. It's knowing full force. And I feel like when you realize that, and I feel like I've been doing this for like years and years, where it's more than, and my husband used to make fun of me all the time because I would literally think of something. It could be anything, like, oh, we need, say, an extra $500 in university. I'm like, no, I know we're gonna be fine. I know it. Like, I know it's gonna appear by this day, like by this date. And I remember thinking, like, no, we need it by this date. And I remember having a date for that. And it's like, it's gonna appear. Like, I'm not worried. Why are you? Like, and it did. Like, and it appeared randomly out of this bursary that came that it didn't even apply to. Like, so I feel like somehow it just happens that way, but it happens because you letting go, which I think it happened. Like, that's the main thing people struggle with. I feel like it's just letting go of the how, letting go a little bit of it, and knowing that it's fully gonna happen.
So I've been talking to someone who she told me she manifested basically everything in her life. She's like, I was homeless. I was evicted. I've been sleeping in my car. I was going through a messy divorce. I didn't have access to kids. I didn't eat. So, and then all of a sudden she started focusing on manifesting what she actually wanted. And the first thing for her was, I want I want a home. I need shelter. So she's like, I do these steps every time and it's guaranteed I'm going to be manifesting it. So what she told me was she focuses on 5 things every single day to be grateful for, because I think that's a thing that people often forget, is that when you manifest something, I feel like people who are forgetting that it's not just, well, I want this car, so I'm going to get this car. I want $1 million, so I'm just going to make $1 million. You need to be thankful and grateful for everything that you do have, because that makes you more humble, and that lets the universe know you're not just being selfish. You're working towards something. You're thankful for what you have, but you have dreams and you have goals. And it's kind of just letting the universe know that I do get that. And then the next thing she was saying is that you focus on your affirmation. So if there's a personality trait that you feel that person in the future you should have. So say for us, when we were starting a business, we knew, okay, we want to be comfortable being in front of camera. We want to know that we're okay answering questions. If we sat there thinking, I'm not good in front of camera, I don't like interviews, I don't like these things. If I started writing, I am confident in front of the camera. I am comfortable with having interview questions. You start writing those things down until your brain starts to believe it. So one of the things for me in my story was I used to be extremely playful. I like in high school, that's all I did. I did everything because I wanted to have fun and play. And then with my concussions, I felt like I lost that playfulness side of me. And I felt for myself, I was kind of getting boring because I'm like, I don't, no, I don't want to do that. That's not fun. That's not fun. But then I started in my affirmation saying, I am playful. I am playful. And for a few days, I wrote that. And immediately I started embodying that because I was telling myself, I'm playful. So how do I show the universe that I'm playful? I play. So I called my sister and I was like, I really want to play. Can I meet my niece at the park and we can just like have a snow fight or whatever, like go down the slide just because I started craving that playfulness. So I focused on I am playful and all of a sudden I started becoming more playful. I started like doing little games around the house just to keep myself entertained. But that's why the affirmations are important because you're starting to tell yourself who you are. And so your affirmation should be something that you aspire to be that will help raise your frequency and you start embodying that. And then the next thing is the goal. So going through, like you said, being specific, being clear, have no doubt, and just make sure that you know exactly what you want. And I think from that, I've even noticed that my frequency, and I know this is something we can talk about in another thing about frequency because I still want to learn more about that. But you just start feeling this different sense in yourself of like, you're happier in a way. You're just like, everything just seems to be great in your world. Like everything, it's like all your stress has lifted. And what is interesting was I've been doing that for a few days. And Steph, I told you there was one day I had a dream where all of these things in my life that pissed me off came to me. And in this dream, like all these negative people that I felt, you know, just just didn't contribute to my life or things that they did at some point that bothered me. All of that came in a dream and then I woke up in full-fledged tears and I right away, I woke up bawling my eyes out for, like, over an hour. My partner comes, he's like, "What's wrong with you? Like, what happened? You literally just woke up." But it was that dream that triggered all of those emotions and that stress and that anxiety, and it was kind of like that release that I needed to just let it go, and me breaking down in tears was that release. And I was talking to you, and you're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I just broke down. I don't even know why." But then you told me that that's also part of manifesting as well. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, so I feel like based on my experience of everything I've manifested, which I feel like I was doing it even before I realized manifesting was a word fully, right? And I feel like what happens is right when you're ready to like hit your goal, right when you're so close to manifesting, I almost feel like I'm not sure if it's the universe just giving you one last test or what is, but I've always kind of looked at it like that. It was just one last test, and usually happens nearly almost every time is that what there's like a huge one last barrier that you have to break free, almost like you pass this and you're right to your goal. And it happens every single time, right when you're ready to break down, right when you're like, you feel down, right when like I feel like you're just not sure what's going to happen next. You're lost, right? But I feel like it happens in a way exactly how you described. Exactly what you said is how people feel. And literally, they are so close to manifesting because what happens is you're trying to let go. You're trying to be grateful for what you have and you're letting go of the past. So that way you can really start manifesting everything that you want. That's
You're
part
letting
of
go
it.
of everything that's holding you back, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah, everything you're letting go of everything that's holding you back. And essentially that's what happens to you, right? Anything that's holding you back, you may not have been fully thinking about, you may not even realize what was holding you
There
back,
were
right?
things that like I didn't even like this person from like 12 years ago that they did this one thing that I didn't even remember, but in that dream I remembered. I remember what they did.
Yeah, like it's stuff like that where you don't realize it's holding you back. Yeah, that's part of the manifesting. You're trying to let go of things that are in your subconscious mind that are there holding you back and you don't even realize. So it's that process that you go through. And when you do that, it's like you come in even higher frequency because it's like you letting go. And when you're in a higher frequency, you can feel it. Your energy is higher, you're happier. When you're in a lower frequency, I feel like you just that it's that feeling that you get when you don't want to get out of bed. Nothing makes you happy. You're just like, it's almost like you can feel the difference. And when you know, like when you're in a lower frequency versus higher, and I know it changes. I feel like obviously someone can't be in a higher frequency forever. But I feel like in an overall state, when you're manifesting, that's overall mostly what you're trying to be in. And I feel like a whole energy shift. And I feel like when you do that, it's incredible the amount of opportunities that you will attract. But it's right, like you'll have one last barrier based on my experience, one last barrier that will happen right before you're ready to break free, right? When you're so close to your goal. So know that as part of manifesting, that's like one last challenge, and know that you're right there.
If you like this video and you like more of these conversations we have about, the spirituality realm, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We're almost at 50, and that's so
Yeah,
exciting for me.
awesome.
And if you want to be notified of every time we release a new video, don't forget to hit that little bell notification, and we'll pop up every time a video is released. We do release videos 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. So make sure you check us out. And thank you so much for joining us. Bye.